If you are going to be successful this year, you have to become obsessed with women. You have to. The first and most important thing that a prostitute takes her time with her beauty. She dresses up. She prepares herself. She packages herself. She dresses for her target so that when her target sees her target is moved. Her perfume is deliberate. Her hair is deliberate. Her dress is deliberate. Her perfume might be maybe Amouage, Interlude, perfume for kings. Her shoes may be Prada. Her dressing may be on point. Everything is deliberate. Why? Because of her target. So question one, why do Christians dress poor? Because people address you by the way you dress. My leader, Exceptional Eagle, said that your humility is what is killing you. At one time, I said I didn't want a car. My brother, when I entered Dubai a few times, I changed my mind. I quickly changed my mind. A few of my colleagues, some people, they went to buy me a 570. I didn't buy the car. They bought it for me. They said we would not allow you. Because if your mind should go down, the company goes down. It's a function of the leadership. If the leadership goes down, the system is dead. So if your family is going to progress, you as leader, as a husband, you have to come up. If there's a failure in your family, it's traceable to the husband. If there's a failure in your company, it's traceable to the leadership. If there's a failure in your department, it's traceable to the leadership. So if you want your leadership to, if I see your department, I know the size of your leadership. That's all. I don't need to look left. A prostitute takes time to dress. Dress for your address. Don't come for RFF meetings or don't come to church with your shirt with mount map of East Africa on one side, and you are trying to say we are Christians. There is no, if you okay, like me, sometimes when I buy my clothes, and I'll tell my colleagues, come, I want to give like everything out of my clothes. So some of you, your houses are too full with clothes. Empty it. Look for brothers in church who don't have shirts, who don't have trousers, and give them. Until you give out, none will come back into you. None will come back. None will come back. If you have 2 cars in your house and 1 parking space, give 1 car out. Give 1 car out. Try God and see what happens. And I'm saying it deliberately because I've given out cars. I've given out shirts. And I've seen what has happened. I have a problem with my wardrobe. It does not want to stop filling up. When I fill it up, I push it out. It fills up itself. How the clothes come, some of those clothes, I don't buy them. They find their way to me. Give and it shall be given. Good measure, pressed down, shaking together, running over. Dress for your address. When I was working with my team, I now said that if I go anywhere, how do they see me? How do they see Mike? How do they see this? How do they see my colleagues? I say, in case they, like when they wanted to arrest Jesus, they looked at Jesus. They said, which one of them is Jesus? Because they were all looking alike. That was why I decided that cars should be bought for my colleagues. I cannot have a Jeep and my colleague will have a sedan, God forbid. So that in case they want to shoot me, they can shoot him. You wake up in your house, you live in an estate, and you see those rich people going to job by 5:30, you are sleeping at 6 o'clock, you're a poor man. You should be out by 5 o'clock waiting for the man. As the man is jogging, he's meeting you on the road. So have you bought land today? Market the man. Because if you cannot sell, you cannot be rich. Abraham Lincoln said that give me 6 hours to chop a tree. I will use 4 hours first to sharpen my sword. The reason why you are not going far is because you are not sharpening that sword. If you are going to be successful this year, you have to become obsessed with women. You have to. You should start practicing writing 100 million on your wall. When you can write it and pronounce it, you are entitled to walk into it. Yes. Don't talk of anything small. Small is an abuse of executive time. I woke up because I saw the bills that were before me. I wanted more. Somebody say more. What are we talking about here? Until you get to that level of anger, you will not leave this level. What money cannot do, more money can do. Now, but let me tell you something. Never compromise your values. When Jesus was in the tomb and he left that tomb, when the guards went back to the centurion and told the centurion that he had escaped, they gave them money to keep quiet for my Jesus. If that gospel is to be preached, we need to spend more money. Bible says through prosperity shall our cities be paid, not by prayer. We have prayed too much. Go and make money. Some of us are lucky we get a job, like all of us here have gotten jobs and cool. But listen to me, this is where it begins to get rough. That job is your first problem. That good job of the past, say go to school, save for the future, has become a very dangerous advice. Now, so you wake up every morning and you have become a member of the rat race, a kute. You are up by 4 a.m., 5 a.m., you are ready to hit the road running. So you have enjoyed the rat race. Now, I normally ask people, how many hours do you work? If you are going to be successful this year, you have to become obsessed with winning. You have to. Your failure or your success is tied to your mind, not your size. By 7:30, the sun would have gone down. By 7 a.m. tomorrow, the sun will come up. The sun is not waiting for you. Time is not waiting for you. The fact that your father was not a millionaire does not mean that you cannot be a millionaire. I came here as an example of something that will happen to you. Hear me now. You are between the ages of 13 to 19. You had better find your passion. Money does not respect age. The Bible says money is a defense. Money gives out options. You need to show yourself the different ways of making money. In the Garden of Eden, there were 4 rivers entering the garden. 4. If it took God 4 rivers to water the garden, you cannot be alive and tell me you only need one source of income. If you have only one source of income, you're a poor man. If you have only one source of income, you're a poor man. If you have only one source of income, you're a poor man. If you have only one source of income, you're a poor man. If you have only one source of income, you're a poor man. I started it focused on one man. Change one man and see how it goes. Now, when you decide to do that and it becomes evident, that person becomes like an example of what can happen. And that person is sitting here. So when people saw that his values began to change, he now became a beacon to attract people not only in Akwa Ibom State, but also as far as Zaria, as far as Bayelsa, as far as different parts of Nigeria, up to Ghana, up to Sierra Leone. Why? Because I decided to take somebody simple. Now, as it grew, I began to speak on many stages, on many platforms. So people asked me this. So I now created a platform called Mentor Me. Mentor Me with 6 fundamental things. If you are going to be successful this year, you have to become obsessed with winning. You have to. You cannot be 99% interested in the job. It's 100% or forget it. Your failure or your success is tied to your mind, not your size. By 7:30, the sun would have gone down. By 7 a.m. tomorrow, the sun will come up. The sun is not waiting for you. Time is not waiting for you. If you don't give your... If you are going to be successful this year, you have to become obsessed with winning. You have to. You cannot be 99% interested in the job. It's 100% or forget it. Your failure or your success is tied to your mind, not your size. By 7:30, the sun would have gone down. By 7 a.m. tomorrow, the sun will come up. The sun is not waiting for you. Time is not waiting for you. If you don't give... If you are going to be successful this year, you have to become obsessed with winning. You have to. You cannot be 99% interested in the job. It's 100% or forget it. Your failure or your success is tied to your mind, not your size. By 7:30, the sun would have gone down. By 7 a.m. tomorrow, the sun will come up. The sun is not waiting for you. Time is not waiting for you. If you don't give your
Hello, everyone. Good evening, good morning, good afternoon from wherever you're joining from, because I understand that we have people joining us from, all over the world. How are you doing today? Thank you and welcome to the International Women's Day virtual hangout organized by the Ubong King Foundation. And ladies and gentlemen, if you are so excited about today's session, if you are looking forward to learning today, if you are here and you're waiting, to be filled, I need to see you in the comment section. You know how we did, guys. Anytime you hear, the UKF Foundation, it is like synonymous to energy. You know what I'm saying? So I need to see you in the comment section. I need to see your comments. I need to see your emojis. I need to, I need you to let me know you are ready. Hey! I need you to show me how ready, how excited you are about today's session. I can see the comment section already. Hi, Collins. I see you. How are you doing? Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen. It is such a honor, to be here once again. One of the things I love, specifically about the Ubong King Foundation is how at every point in time, the organization, is doing their best to, always churn out valuable events, valuable, programs, everything to, equip us, to accelerate us, to move us, to move us forward, to ensure that we are progressing. I mean, it's something of joy, honestly. And I don't know how the UKF Foundation does it, but I can tell you for a fact that I love it here. Yes, I see the comment section. Oh my God, I see you people, family members. I see you. Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you. This is the best time to share about this event. So if you have not shared it yet on your social media handles, then you know that you are not doing well. So please share it. Let's bring as many people as possible to be a part of this event. Let's bring so much people, because today we're talking about, a subject that is very important, that does not only concern the women. I'm sure that men also, will benefit from the conversation of today. So this is the time where you really need to share about this event. Call everybody. Let us feel this hall. Let us feel this virtual space. Let everybody know that something is happening today. Today, we're having a conversation that centers around mapping the path, to equality. Personally, as someone who is passionate about, women development and enhancement, I am so interested, in this event, because what we are doing today is having a conversation around how we can create, roadmaps, daily roadmaps to accelerate action for us, as women, and of course as men also. And I'm particularly excited, that the Ubong King Foundation, has decided to put this event together. Basically because the theme for this year's event centers around accelerating action, and we want to move this beyond just mere talks. You know what I'm saying? We don't want it to just be about just regular conversations. We want it to be more about actions. You know how they say that little things compound. When you continue to do it over and over again, it definitely compounds. So today we want to talk about, how we can create, daily roadmap that would accelerate action. And I am so excited more again because of the speakers that we are bringing on board today. Oh my God, have you seen the profile of these amazing women? Have you seen how these women are already accelerating action in their own different fields, and how they are going beyond just their space to also impact the next generation? That for me is a major thing, and I think that our speakers deserve to be celebrated specially. So in the comment section, I need you to say thank you to the Ubong King Foundation. Thank you to all of our speakers, because today we're going to really go deep into talking about roadmap that would help us accelerate action. I love it because one of the reason we're also doing this thing is also go beyond the stereotypes. We don't want to repeat the things that we already know, but what we want to do today is to impress on the heart of everyone who is going to be listening how we can turn our what ifs into whatness. You know what I'm saying? We're tired of, just the regular talk. We want to make this conversation to be really tangible, that it will be so tangible enough to push you, to the next phase of your life. You know what I'm saying? So I need you to sit back, relax. This is going to really, 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 really change you in no small ways. I'm really excited, honestly. I'm so excited about the conversation that we are going to be having today. And believe me, all of our speakers are ready, guys. All of our speakers are ready. And they're saying, you know what, don't worry, we have it all covered. We have it all covered. Ladies and gentlemen, let me do a little gossip. Just brief gossip. You know how it is. I'm not going to hide anything from you. Our host, in person of Ambassador Ivy King. Let me tell you something. When we met on the backstage before now, I had to tell her, I said, Mama, this your makeup is on flick. Kilo day. I have to say, Mama, you are glowing, and you're going to see what I'm talking about, in a little time, because I'm going to bring her up now, because she's definitely going to do welcome address and welcoming everyone into the session for today. But I see the comment section already, and I really want to say thank you. I want to say thank you. Oh, I see the comment section. Okay, I see Debbie is here. I see Ellen is here. I see my boss, Mr. Alvin. I see everyone in the comment section. Hi, Paul. Hi, Victor. I can see everyone. Thank you. Keep the comments coming in. Continue to share about this event. Let's bring as many people as possible. Let everybody come and be a part of what we are doing today. Let's make this room filled of people who are going to learn, people who are going to have their lives changed today from this session. Thank you once again to the Ubong King Foundation for putting this together. Ladies and gentlemen, if your hands are not busy, oh my God, if your hands are not busy, please, I need you to say welcome in the comments. Just keep typing welcome, because I'm bringing on board Ambassador, our mama, our mama. I don't want to do, all of this official. official things. Anyone who knows the Ubong King Foundation knows that this woman have been, a solid rock, behind and even in front of the screen. She has always ensured, that everything is sailing. We're moving forward. We're progressing, and we're seeing that we're doing. We're walking the talk. That's the word. We're walking the talk. So it's not just that we're only talking. We're also making action. To implement the things that we have been learning. Yes, I see the comment section. I'm just going to read our profile. I don't know if our profile is ready from the media. I'd just like to confirm that. If it's not, I can just go ahead and read it from here, so that I can bring her on board, and then we can have the welcome chant by Dr. Mrs. King. I just want to confirm if the media is ready to bring up our profile. Let me confirm that. Okay, if it is not, okay, I'm just going to go ahead and introduce her, because I must say that this woman is one person who has blessed me, in no small ways, Our host today, Ambassador Dr. Mrs. Unyime-Ivy King is a visionary leader, entrepreneur, and storyteller, driving transformative change. As a co-founder of the Ubong King Foundation, she passionately drives Thinkation, an annual event igniting entrepreneurial spirit in young minds. Now, this initiative has fueled sustainable wealth creation and community development for 8 years. I'm sure a lot of us can testify to this, because we have been beneficiaries of the work, of the strides of the Thinkation event year in, year out. She is a prolific writer, contributing to publications like TW Magazine and Vanguard newspaper. Her novel, Burning Art, explores the effect of dysfunctional families. She's also a certified marriage mentor, a grief counselor, and mental health therapist, guiding individuals and couples towards healing. Ladies and gentlemen, it's important for me to state that our host today is, the executive director of SOWG Foundation. She leads initiatives empowering women and girls, such as the West Initiative, Camp Creative, and Trash to Wealth. Work redefines empowerment, inspiring action, and uplifting communities through purpose-driven leadership. Ladies and gentlemen, please, in the comment section, I need you to give her a warm round of applause. You know how we do it. If this was like a physical session, you know how you're going to do it. Just please keep saying welcome. We love you, mommy. Let her know that we love and we appreciate her. You see what I'm saying? Have you seen that glow? Guys, have you seen that glow? Mommy, over to you. Please take over the floor.
All right, thank you very much, Mary. That introduction is really making my head to swell. Thank you and congratulations. I think since the last time we had this, you were a single girl. Now you are a Mrs.
Thank you,
Congratulations
Mama.
and thank you for everything that you do, for volunteering at the foundation, and for all the ways you're doing. All right, I'm very happy and excited to be here. And I want to say a very good evening, trailblazers. Good evening, dreamers. I believe I have trailblazers on this call. I have dreamers on this call. I have allies on this call. Welcome to the Ubong Kings Foundation virtual celebration of the International Women's Day. As a community that is dedicated to nurturing all entrepreneurs, both women and men alike, and transforming dependency into productivity, we know that progress thrives when potential meets with opportunity. And tonight, in this month of March, which is a month that we honor women's global achievements and the mothers as well, because in a few days from now is also going to be Mother's Day. So we honor the women and the mothers who shape our first notions of what strength means. We turn our focus to equality. Before we dive in, I want to take a moment to celebrate someone, she will not be expecting this, who has grown right alongside this foundation. She has been a volunteer for years now, and that's no other person but our brilliant compere for this evening. She has been volunteering for years, and it's been a joy to watch her evolve. When she first started hosting this hangout, she was a single woman and she was mastering the art of virtual engagement. And fast forward to today, she's still mastering engagement because we grow from strength to strength and we keep evolving. That's what she has done. She keeps evolving. And now, as a fearless wife and a powerhouse compare, who is breaking barriers in her career. Seriously, Mary, your journey reminds us that growth, both personal and professional, is not a distraction from equality and is proof of what's possible when we invest in women. Thank you for bringing your spark to this space. We appreciate you sincerely. And I also want to welcome my guests. I have three phenomenal women on this call. Two of them are my big sister and my younger sister too on the call tonight. And we are going to drink from the tap of their experiences tonight. And I'm talking of no other person than my big sister Ezinne Kufre Ekanem, who is redefining leadership in her industry. And you're welcome, ma'am. I also welcome my other big sister, Abimbola, who is igniting mentorship and innovation entrepreneurship. You are welcome. I also welcome Oludayo Adeniyi, who is also a champion of inclusive economic growth. I welcome all of you and I'm happy to have you with us tonight. I can't wait to sit back so that I can begin to take notes. Your presence with us tonight is a gift. Thank you. Thank you very much for sharing your brilliance with us. Our theme is mapping the path to equality, and it asks us to breach two truths. Empowering women lifts everyone, and inclusive ecosystems in business, in mentorship, and the daily habits. This is how we dismantle dependency on broken systems. This isn't a woman issue alone, it's a human imperative. So let's get to work. Let's turn policies into action, allyship into accountability, and today's idea into tomorrow's norms. Ready to build a world where equality and productivity fuel each other. Are we ready? Please let's welcome our guests. I'll hand over to the compare tonight and let's begin tonight's event. Thank you to everyone who has tuned in. And if you haven't shared the link for this event, please, these are premium speakers. And I want us to give them that honor. Please share the links to as many people as you can so that they can join us and drink from this fountain of wisdom. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Mama. Thank you so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you so much. Oh my God. I didn't see that coming, honestly. I didn't see that
We
coming
have
at
to
all.
celebrate you too.
I was just blushing. Like I was so blushing. Thank you so much, Mama. Thank you.
You're
God
welcome.
bless you. I'm really
Thank you.
grateful. And I think that if I begin to, talk about my relationship with Mama Ubong King, I call her mother because that's what she has really represented to me. I really just want to say thank you. Like you're like somebody that has known me since like when I was I really just want to say thank you to you. Thank you for showing us how things are done. And when we see you, we see a proof of what is possible. I think that for me is one reinforcing truth that always come in front of me. When I set your image, right in front of me. Thank you so much, Mama. God bless you. And of course, for putting this together, for ensuring that we're learning, for bringing women who are really doing the work and showing us that see this thing is possible. Thank you. We do not take that for granted at all. It's something that we are forever grateful for. And personally, I am so grateful to you, Ma. Thank you so much, Ma. God bless you. Whoa. Okay, that was such a powerful introduction. Honestly, I love that. Mama, did her best to convey the theme of this event, what we really want to do. And there's something she mentioned, that was very peculiar. She said that empowering women lifts everyone. Everyone is going to definitely benefit from, women empowerment. And that was what I said, when we were starting this, that this is not a women issue, that this is not something that has to do with, just women alone, because men are also going to benefit from this. And I love the fact that this is also an all-inclusive event, because what we are doing here is not fighting for, which gender is doing that. No. What we are doing here today is having that conversation of how we can accelerate action, in our individual lives, and then we can, have collective success, as individuals. Just like Mommy said, it's not a women problem; it's a human, human conversation that has to do with everybody. So I really just want to say a very big thank you to her for that powerful introduction. Thank you also to everyone in the room. I see you in the comment section. I see the comment from Paul that says progress thrives when potential meets with opportunity. That's one, for the books. Yeah, that's one for the books. Thank you for displaying that. Thank you so much. Thank you. I'm looking through the comments to see if I have more comment from people. And I love, there's something about the Ubong King Foundation. Any event that we are doing, it's always the energy for me. It is always the energy for me. Like you will literally know that you feel like you're in the same space with everyone. And I love you. I don't want you to reduce it. I need it to increase. Okay. I need that energy to increase, because we'll definitely need it, as we go on, in this event. Just like Mommy has said, we have 3 powerful speakers. And when I was going through their profiles, you know how you're going through a profile, you're just like, how are these women able to do all of these things? Madam Ezinne's profile is so intriguing. Oh my God. It is so powerful. And then I went over to Madam Dayo's profile. I'm like, how can these things be? And it was as if I had not seen enough. And then I went on to Madam Ini's profile. I'm like, okay. This is the highlights. This is the highlights. And I just love that, we have these women in the same room with us. Such a honor, guys. Such a powerful honor for her to have, all of these women, together in the room with us. So how the event is going to run this evening is that we're going to, have just a short, speech from all of our speakers, one after the other. They're going to be talking about the theme of the event that is centered on mapping the path to equality. And after then, I will begin to, engage them, in some questions that have already been prepared, so that we can, exhaust this conversation and, get all the value that we can from these amazing women that are in the room today. First on my list, okay, in no particular order, I'm just going to introduce them and then bring them on board, have them, do their short speech, and then once they are done with all of the speeches, I go over to the question and the answer segment. Of course, if you have questions also, in the audience, it's a good time for me to say that you're okay to, ask your questions. So if you have any question, maybe during the course of the event, as the event is going on, do well to drop it in the comment section. I'm going to be looking through and, of course, acknowledging every question that is asked. I'm going to, be bringing it up so that our speakers can do justice to that. Okay, I'd like to also confirm if we have the profile of the guest already, or I just go ahead and introduce them. I have the profile. Okay, so I just want to confirm if we have it. Okay, and then I'll just go ahead and read it. Okay, like I said, I want you to listen to every part of this profile. Okay, some of them are long, but I'll try as much as possible, to bring out the all of the details are very important. And somehow when I introduce powerful guests like this, I don't like to take out any part of that profile, because I just believe that it could be a particular line that is for somebody, you know what I'm saying. It could be just one line that somebody needs to hear. So ladies and gentlemen, indulge me. I'm going to be going through all the profiles and trust me, I just want you to listen and take note of everything, that I am mentioning, from the profile of our speakers. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome on board Madam Ezinne Kufre Ekanem. I love this woman because she is a multifaceted entrepreneur, mentor, and advocate for women's empowerment. She's driven by passion to equip women with tools to overcome life's challenges and reach their full potential. Now, as a seasoned business leader, she is the CEO of Rosemary's, the soft furnishing company, and the executive director of Philosophy Limited. She leverages our expertise to mentor and support women in their personal and professional journeys. It's important to also note that, our impact extends beyond business. So I love it that, we have women in the room today who are not, just focused on one area. They're doing other things and they're excelling also, in those other departments. She is a prolific author, radio host, and convener of the Up You Women Conference. Through initiatives like Project Empower, she has empowered, women to thrive and become their best self. She's a devoted wife, a mother, and community builder. Ladies and gentlemen, please, in the comment section, I need you to welcome Madam Ezinne with us. She's in the room with us. Please put your hands together. Put your hands together and welcome Madam Ezinne. Good evening, Mama. How are you today?
Oh my goodness. Good evening. How are you?
I'm very well. Thank you, Mama. I'm good. Thank you so much.
Good evening, everyone. Good evening, Ambassador Unyime-Ivy King. It's such a pleasure to be here. And good evening, everyone on this stream, joining us from all over the world. It is going to be an amazing evening. You're welcome.
Thank you so much, Mama. Thank you. I love it. I love it. Okay, so I'm just going to go over and, read the next profile. Let me just, read all of the profiles so that our guests can come in and greet us and say hello to us so that you can know that they are really here. And then after that, I'll just, go backstage and then bring them up to, share their thoughts one after the other. Did you feel something from that welcome? Did you feel it? The way she said, "How are you?" Oh, I love the strength of her voice. Guys, are you feeling what I am feeling? I see the comment section. I see it. Ruth is saying, "Welcome, my dear sister." Thank you, Mama Ruth. We appreciate you. Okay. Oh my God, I'm really, really having a great time today, honestly. Our next speaker is a visionary thought leader, empowering individuals and organizations to achieve success. As founder of Ezinne and the School of Abundance, she helps professionals and entrepreneurs unlock their potential and thrive. She's a celebrated speaker, coach, and author. She shares insights on mindset shift, personal growth, and wealth creation. Her teachings inspire individuals to transcend limitations and design purposeful lives. As a fellow of the Chartered Institute of Personnel Management and member of Forbes community, she inspires excellence in leadership, business, and personal growth. She hosts a weekly show, titled or called Building the Continent on Power FM Zambia, motivating entrepreneurs across Africa. Ladies and gentlemen, if your hands are not too busy, please welcome on stage Madam Oludayo Adeniyi. Put your hands together, ladies and gentlemen. Hi, Madam Oludayo. Hi, Madam D. How are you doing today? Good evening.
Been
I
amazing.
want
Thank you
to
so much for having me here. I am super excited to be here today. Good afternoon, good morning, good evening, everyone.
thank
Thank
you
you so
so
much,
much.
Ambassador, for the opportunity to be here today to share. You're doing an amazing work. Thank you.
Thank you
Thank you
so
so
much,
much.
Mama. Thank you, ma.
Thank
Guys, did you
you.
catch that warm
Thank
smell?
you.
Did you see
Thank
that
you.
smell? Did you see that beautiful smell? I really love it here. I really, really love it. Thank you so
Thank
much, ma.
you. Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Okay, I'm going to introduce our third speaker. I'm not even going to I'm not going to cap. I love the energy that all of our speakers exude. Like you can really just feel the warmth. Honestly, I don't know if you're getting what I'm getting. Thank you so much. I see the comment section. Everyone is saying welcome, Madam D. Everyone is saying welcome, Madam Dayo. We love you and we appreciate you. Thank you so much for coming. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Our third speaker today. Is a seasoned leader with over 25 years of experience in management consulting, public policy, and strategy development. She has worked across the public, private, and development sectors, driving innovative solutions and implementing sustainable strategies. Our impressive credentials include being a fellow of the Sustainability Professionals Institute of Nigeria, Spain, a member of the Nigerian Institute of Management, NIM, and a doctoral scholar at the Rome Business School. She has held key positions such as a UN technical expert on women's political leadership and executive secretary of Women in Management and Business. That's WIMBIZ. As a renowned expert in her field, she has developed and implemented numerous strategies promoting sustainability, ESG, and risk management practices. She's referred to as Madam Fixer. I love that so much. Like, I love that line so much because she is a result-driven leader with a track record of achieving exceptional results. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome on stage Madam Abimbola Ene, aka Madam Fixer. Please drop it in the comment section. Good evening.
Hello, good evening, everyone. Good evening. It's such a delight to be here. I'm always so excited to join the Ubong King Foundation. So thank you so much for having me. Thank you, Yuma, for having me. Hello, Ezinne. Hello, Dio. Good evening. Hope you're doing well.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much,
I hope
Mama.
you can hear me. I'm not
Yes, we
breaking.
can. Yes, we can hear you, Ma. Yes, we can hear you. Yes, we can hear you. Thank you so much, Ma. Thank you, thank you. Whoa, comment section. Let me see what my people are saying in the comment section. Everybody's saying welcome, welcome, welcome. Thank you, Madam Fixer. I love it. See, she's going to fix a lot of things this evening. I'm telling you the truth. There's going to be a lot of fixing going on. I love it. I love it. And I really love that all of our speakers, like I said, all of our, three speakers are doing exceptionally well in the fields that they have chosen. Mama just said it is such a delight to have three powerhouses on the call. Like we really need to say a special thank you to these amazing women because they could have been doing something else, you know what I'm saying? But we're glad that they took out time to be a part of what we are doing this evening, and we're just so happy. We're so honored, most especially, we're really so honored to have you, with us. Thank you so much. I'm going to leave the stage now, and welcome Madam Ezinne for a short speech. It's going to be on for about 5, 6, 7 minutes, and she's going to be doing justice to the subject of conversation, the borders around mapping the path, to equality. Madam Ezinne, over to you, ma.
Good evening again, everyone. Hello, Ini, and hello, Dayo. It's actually an utmost pleasure to be here with all of you. I don't know how I get the first goal, but let's see how we do. All right. Mapping the path to equality. I'll take us back a bit. In 2012, the World Economic Forum predicted that it will take 100 years to close the gender gap. A decade later, that number has barely improved. Today, they estimate it will take 131 years for full gender parity. But let me ask you, do we have 131 years to wait? Can we afford to let another generation of women struggle with the same barriers that we're facing today? Are we willing to let our children, our grandchildren, our great grandchildren, the girl children suffer and wait another 131 years before they begin to smell nor enjoy gender equality? I don't think so. The answer is obviously no. That's why we're here today, to talk about how we can take daily intentional steps to accelerate gender equality. As someone who has built businesses, led initiatives, and advocated for women, I have seen firsthand how small, consistent actions lead to very monumental change. You know, those little actions that we think are so small that will not mean anything or amount to anything. I have seen firsthand how they actually make a lot of change. I've worked with women who transformed their lives, not by waiting for policies to change, but by changing their own daily habits and perspectives. And that's what mapping out the path to equality is all about. And that's what I'll focus on today: how to map a clear, actionable roadmap for gender equality in our daily lives. As in our daily lives, underscore that. Because change isn't in the big speeches or the policy papers. Change is in the small, consistent actions we take every day, you and I. So get ready as we dive in. But before we do, let me ask you, what does gender equality mean to you? Because you see, gender equality doesn't mean the same thing for all of us. And it has to begin to mean the same thing for all of us for us to be able to fight the cause effectively. So please, could you do me a favor? Put in the comment section, what does gender equality mean to you? We need to know what that is, so that as we're having the discussion and going on tonight, we'll begin to address what it means to you, so that as we draw the map for ourselves, it will resonate with what your meaning and understanding of gender equality is, so that the map we draw will be a map that can resonate with you, and one that is true to your core, and one that you can actually key into and run with. Thank you very much. This will be my opening statement. I await my sisters to go. Hello. I can see the comment sections, but I hope that people are telling me what they understand or what it means for them. Gender equality. Moderator, please come back in.
Thank you so much, Ma. I was just like backstage. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for that powerful speech. People are already dropping in the comment section what gender equality means. I see Dikachi say that women do not have to wait for policies to change, but by changing their daily habits. So I see a lot of comments that center around change, even the small intentional actions that we do every day. Thank you so much. Okay, so I'm just going through this comment section to see change is a very big thing we do, small steps that we can take daily. Super cool, there isn't it? Thank you so much, ma'am. Okay, so Dikachi says gender equality means ensuring that individuals of all genders have equal access to opportunities. Yeah, perfect. Thank you so much, Ma. Would you like to, catch your breath now while I bring up another speaker?
Oh, yes, please go ahead and bring somebody else.
All right. Thank you so much, ma. Okay. Thank you. Thank you. That I love how Madam Ezinne, started this conversation. And the reason I say I love it is because, I mean, I in fact, when she started, she said, "Oh, she didn't know, why she was the first person." But I work a lot with data, and so when I hear a speaker talk about facts and figures, I am always listening with rapt attention. And she took us back to 2012, and she gave us some statistics and the number of years it will take, for us to really get to where we want to get to when the, subject of gender equality, is brought up. But I love that we're not waiting until, 100 years, comes to pass before we are doing our own quota and in being a part of the change that we really desire to see. And so that's why I really want to say a very big thank you, to Madam Ezinne for that very, very powerful speech. And she has left us with a question. What does gender equality mean to you? And I love that she's, asking us this question, because we also need to begin to question the things that we believe, and the definitions that we have held on to, for a very long time. I'm sure that, by the time other speakers come on board to have, their own speech, and then, we go into the question and answer, we're going to be able to come to a conclusion, for what, gender equality really means, and how we can take daily actions, to accelerate the change that we really want to see. I love how the conversation is going already. I'm going to bring up Madam Dayo right now for a speech. I hope that she's ready. And, she's also going to, share on the subject that we're talking about today that centers around, and the theme for mapping the path to equality. Madam D, over to you, ma. You have the floor.
Thank you very much. That was a very powerful one by Mrs. Ezinne. It was so amazing. And sorry.
A warm welcome to another edition of Diplomatic Channel. I'm Amarachi.
Okay. Sorry, please. Trying to put off this, I don't know. I'm back. So sorry about that. I didn't know where that sound was coming from, so I had to just put that off. Okay, thank you so much. Sorry about that slight delay. I didn't know there was a noise at the background, so I had to quickly attend to that. Thank you so much, Ambassador Ivy, for having me here. And that was a very powerful opening by Mrs. Ezinne. I love the statistics that she gave, and was so beautiful. And I also want to ask the same question: do we have to wait for 130 years? I read in one of the publications, it says 150, whether it's 130 or 150, the truth is, do we even have that time to wait? Will I and you still be alive up to that time? So what do we do? How do we close this gap? And I would like to also say from what she said, it's very important. Whatever it is that we cannot define overwhelms us. If we do not understand or know what gender equality is, what's going to happen is everybody will just be running with different ideas of what the concept is. And the more we run with that, can you imagine everybody running with different visions? So it's important that we all pause to ask ourselves, truly, what is gender equality? Because there are a lot of narratives out there, a lot of definitions that people have given to the subject matter. And if it is not carefully defined, then we cannot modify it. Then we cannot close that gap. Then it becomes very difficult for us to truly position ourselves to become better and truly achieve that goal in our lives. And that is why it's important that everyone on this call sits down and pause to ask yourself, what exactly is gender equality? What does it mean? Am I taking my own definition, or I am working with the global definition of what truly it is? Because some people, gender equality for them is proving that a man is better than a woman, or a woman is better than a man. And that isn't what that is all about. That is us not fully understanding the concept. So the first thing I would say is it's important that we understand the concept, what truly equality is about. And I'm indeed honored to be here. So as I reflect on this topic here, and one truth comes to mind: equality is not a destination. It's not a destination that you stumble on. It is a path that we deliberately create, one step, one choice, one action at a time. So when we fully understand what the definition of equality is, then what do? You can now begin to chart out that course, that, taking that decision, taking that action towards achieving it. So it's all about taking those deliberate steps, one step at a time. You say too often we have conversations on this topic. There is a day that is dedicated to women to celebrate International Women's Day. And there's so many people talking about it, and a lot of people are embracing it. But after that day, it fades off. Then should we wait for another 1 year before another campaign starts, and then we start talking about equality? If we truly want to bridge that gap, then it should be a conversation. It should be embedded in our daily lives every day, one step at a time, where we are deliberately and intentionally, inculcating into our lives the actions, the steps, the decisions, the choices that will definitely help us bridge this gap. So I would like to say here that equality is not a once-a-year campaign. It is a culture that you and I have to cultivate. It is a culture we have to embody every day of our life. And based on, what I do as a business leader, my perspective about equality is very simple. I believe that the absence of equality is not just a social injustice, but it is the limitation to the abundance available in the world. Why would I say such? Every human being was created uniquely and differently. And we know that there are over 8 billion people on the planet Earth. Yeah, about 8 billion. And each of us was created differently. And it is this uniqueness and difference that we all have that makes the world a better place. So can you imagine if we do not allow ourselves to reach the full potential that we have been called into? That is injustice to humanity itself. And that is why we cannot afford to just allow this subject just lie fallow, and for every one of us just, not being intentional about it. Because equality here is about you and I reaching our full potential. You and I reaching our full potential and contributing to the world at large, making the world a better place, where I give room for you to be the best version of you that you can be, where you give room for me to be the best version that I can be. And that is truly what equality is all about. And that will be, my opening speech here. And as I, close with it to say, it all starts with the simple principles. The small steps taken consistently create those big mega shifts that you and I desire. So our daily actions involves what we say, what we do, who we support, what we listen to, what we empower. All of this goes a long way to create that roadmap towards achieving equality. So for me as a person, it is all about you and I becoming the best version of ourselves, embracing the opportunities that exist in the world, and becoming that best version of us and making the world a better place. So thank you so much. This will be my opening speech for now as we go into the Q&A. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Ma. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Oh my God. Okay. I can feel the hotness in the room already. Honestly, I can feel it because Madam D just came with a lot of gems. She's saying these things softly and calmly, and she's just throwing it to you. I'm just like, hey, where are we going to start from today? Thank you so much, Matt. That was such a very, very powerful one. Thank you so much. A few of the things that Madam Dayo said, and I want us to hold these things, very, very dearly. She says that equality is not a once in a year campaign. It's not something we have to wait until March 8th or the month of March to only talk about. After this period, after the celebration, after the March 8th, after anything we're doing in March, what happens thereafter? What actions are we taking thereafter? How are we saying the things we're saying? How are we doing the things we're doing? How are we showing support? And it just goes to say that all of this thing play a pivotal role in the change that we desire to see. I really want to say a big thank you to you for that, very, very powerful opening, Matt. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I'm going through the comment section and I see that people are dropping a lot of gems already. Madam Ivy says that gender equality is not a destination. It's a path that we deliberately create one step, one cause, one action at a time. That was so powerful, very powerful. Dikechi says that equality is not a destination. Yeah, just re-echoing what our speaker said. It's a path that is created, taking deliberate actions one step at a time. I love the emphasis we're putting on deliberate action, one step at a time. I really love that emphasis, and I love that it's occurring over and over again. It means that we're really following and we're learning a lot. I see another comment that says embracing opportunities and being the best version of ourselves. That's what we are aiming to be. That's where we want to be, where we are. When we get to that point to say that, what, I've exhausted all that there is. I have, reached the highest, truest, fullest, potential that I am meant to, really, really exhibit. I love it. I love it. Lillian says, yeah, well done, team. Okay, thank you, Lillian. We see you. We appreciate you. Oh my God, are you getting knowledge? Are you getting value? If you have not shared this link, if you have not shared the link to this live stream, you are not doing well. Honestly, if you have not shared the link, if you have not posted it, if you have not invited people to come and be a part of this good that we are learning today, you are not doing well. You are you're antagonizing change that we want to see. I know there's nobody like that here. I know there's nobody like that on this call. I know that everyone on this call, wants to be a part of, this change process. And I really just want to say a big thank you once again to you all, for being there. I'll leave the stage now from Madam Ini to come over, and do, our opening speech, a powerful speech. And I'm sure that she has also prepared, something for us to ponder on as we go over the conversation of today that also centers around, how we can map the path to equality. Good evening, ma'am. Once again, you have the floor.
Hello, good evening. Good evening, everyone. And well done, ladies. I think that I was also taking notes. I actually liked how, they're very, sometimes I wish I can speak as nicely and gently as that. But I've been in the trenches for too long, so forgive me. But I'm also very passionate about this is something that I've done over the years. I can say confidently over 15, 20 years working within the women's space, not just in Nigeria, but across the African continent. And I'm always very passionate about this thing. In 2022 to 2023, I was with the 9th Assembly of the National Federal House of Reps in Abuja. And my work was really as a UN technical expert to try and work with the legislators to be able to look again at the 5 gender bills that were thrown out. And so talking about mapping the pathway to equality, I want to focus on the current state of reality with women in Africa, and then the particular emphasis on Nigeria. Because I think that part of the problem is that we never draw these things home. The reality never hits us. And with the things that are happening recently, I put up something on my Facebook page that, you see this
heightened public disrespect. Of course, we know that women are highly disrespected in Nigeria. But you see this one that, they have now gotten the audacity to be very open about it from a high level. It is going to trickle down. And unfortunately, a lot of us as women are gatekeepers of patriarchy. We enable some of these things. And unfortunately, it is when we look at it in our personal lives, we do not understand that these things trickle into our public lives. Public life being governance, politics, economics, and all of that. So just focusing on the economy alone, you will see that you find women more at the bottom of the pyramid as leaders of the SMEs. They're the ones that are doing business. You go to the market, you see women, but they are the poorer ones. So women are poorer because, again, when you look at it, even according to the World Economic Forum Global Gender Gap Report for 2021, Africa has the highest gender parity with a score of 0.651. So in terms of gender parity, when you look at the gender gap, Africa as a whole, we're not doing badly if we compare it to other continents. But that's also very far, because when you now trickle it down, you look at it from the political point of view. So we have just about 23% across the entire African parliament, all across. So if you add up Nigeria, add up Ghana, add up like that, women make up 23%. So at the top levels of leadership of our countries in the continent, we are just 23%. So we've not even gotten to 50%. That is on average on the parliamentary seats across the continent. Now, the underrepresentation alone indicates that there is need for policies that promote and enhance women's participation in governance and decision making. Because when you begin to talk about issues around tax, you talk about issues around VAT, you talk about issues around even gender pay. When women are not seated at the table, it's like having men legislating over issues on taxes, on issues that hit at the heart of women. So there was one conversation we're having on the tax rate for sanitary pads and how that has been increasing on a steady. Who is concerned about that when the women are not at the table? So if you look at it, even someone say, oh, but we have women, the representation is really bad. If we focus on Nigeria, for instance, we are talking about parity at the African level. Nigeria on the global gender gap, as at 2021, we are 134 out of 156 countries. Number 134 out of 156 countries. So we are at the bottom barrel, if you know what I mean. So again, that is on the one side. We have about 13.5 million girls out of school and have 15 million children out of school. But out of that 15 million children, we have 13.5 million girls out of school. Because I remember when, my father used to tell me when I came of age that when he was sending me to school, he was sending me to nursery school those days. It was a big deal because, public schools were still okay, but the nursery schools were like, for the middle class that had money, and he didn't have money. So he wanted to just send me to nursery school. That his friends would tell him, how can you be sending a girl to nursery school, spending money? Why don't you keep that money? Let her go to public school. And then when your son comes, then you can now put that one. So I'm talking about over 50 years ago. So that hasn't changed. And if we look at the current assembly, the 10th assembly as it is, the last assembly, while I was there, we had 8 women in the Senate, and I think about maybe 13 or 15 women in the House of Reps. Now we have 3 women in the Senate, and I think about 17 women in the House of Reps. So you're looking at 17 out of 360, and then 4 out of 109 in the Senate. And now look at what is going on. The way it is going, please tell me in the comment section that by the next assembly, we are not going to have any women, because that's what they really want. As far as they're concerned, women should not be there. Why are women there at the level of governance? So we need to begin to think about these things. We look at workplace inequality. That's also another thing. The pay gap, women are paid at least 25 to 30% less than men. Because I've heard conversations, I've sat on an interview in a company, and we were interviewing people, and when it came to salary, it was like, but men are heads of the family, so they need more salary than women.
So look at the level of conversations that we are still seeing. And because of childbearing, because of holding on to family issues, women more often than not leave the work environment to have their babies, to take care of their families. And sometimes when they're coming back, their economic dependency is not at the same level anymore. So what are the pathways? How do we begin to map these pathways? I think that already there are strong legal frameworks in Nigeria that we need to really stand up for. We need to fight for those 5 gender bills. I don't know why in 2025 we are still talking about a woman needs to take her husband's permission to get a passport or to travel with her children. Some of these things are just things that you hear them and they sound like we're still in 1935. But those are some of the key issues where even a woman that is married to a Nigerian cannot be called a Nigerian because the law does not permit. So these are some of the issues. So in closing, for me, I think that it is not just a task for women. It demands a collective effort from everybody. But as women, we have to ask ourselves, how are we fostering this bad and what I call evil agenda? Because if you look at it from a Christian perspective, it says male and female, he created them. For every role that a man has to do, a woman also has more to do. So equality, when we talk about equality, we're not saying that, oh, men should have babies, women should have penis. That's not what we are saying. We're just saying that if we went to school together, you and I were in the engineering class together, there is absolutely no reason why I should be offered 200,000 naira less than you. Meanwhile, I had 2-1 and you had 2-2. But because you are a man. So we ourselves as women also need to ensure that we are not raising sons that have absolutely no respect for women. I'm sure the recent news where some twat was calling a woman that only her CV alone has sold him for 5 naira. You know, that she's a disgrace to womanhood. I mean, so for me, if the disrespect is coming at that level, trust me, my sister, you're not going to be free because the Okada man on the road can slap you and beat you up and nothing is going to happen. Because what people on the street will be saying, woman, shut up now. Yourself, why yourself talk to her like that? You're not supposed to talk to her like that. So when we talk about mapping this pathway to equality, it begins with each and every one of us. Ezinne asked the question, do we have the time to wait? No. And me, I personally believe that the kingdom of God suffered violence and the violent take it by force. Thank you very much.
Whoa, oh my God. Okay. Okay. The roof is about to blow off. Please, can you confirm if you can see me and hear me? Oh my God. Thank you so much. That was I wasn't even expecting anything less, anyways. Anyone who knows, all of our speakers, we already know that they are powerhouses, just like we have said, but specifically, these are people who know the figures, these are people who know the facts, and hey, I don't know if we're ready for this conversation because the heat is going to go around. I'm telling you the truth, the heat is going to go around. Thank you so much, Madam Ini, for that, how do I say it? I want to look for a word that really qualifies what I want to say. I think it is groundbreaking. Yeah, that's the word. Groundbreaking speech. Thank you so much. And I'm trying to, really wrap my head around the things that I wrote, right here in my notes. By the way, if you don't have your notes in this session, you are not doing well. You better get something to write. Because there's going to be a lot of things that is going to, be going out today. But, what Madam Ini said about the fact that this is everyone's responsibility. Male and female, he created them. It's not a fight for, who is better than or who is less than. It is the fact that every single one of us, both male and female, have a specific role to play. And it is our responsibility to man our gates, everyone's gate, the gate that has been assigned to you, where you have been created to occupy. It is your responsibility to fill that space. And we all see what is happening, in the country, just like Madam Ini has said. We all see what is happening. And we are you can hear the level of conversations that some people are bringing to par when very serious and Mary, calm down. Mary, calm down. I'm going to get into my emotions. I'm really going to get into my emotions. But when you hear the quality of the conversation, a girl is raped. The first thing you are asking is, what did she wear? Did she seduce him? When you hear the level of conversation, you are asking yourself again, like, how are we still here? How are we still here in 2025? And, we're making efforts, we're talking, but it looks as though some persons are bent to, just do what exactly is in their heart or what exactly is in their mind. And there are a lot of things sponsoring these narratives, and that's why we are having this conversation. We are playing our own part. We want to play our own part, even if maybe we're not able to, change policies from the top. Let us, change our own mindset. Let us, change the people around us. When you change, I change. You see, the change is connecting with each other. It is connecting with each other. Before we know it, we are going to begin to see the things that we really desire. And I just want to say a big thank you once again, for the level of conversations that we are already having and the way, our speakers are already, driving the narrative. I think we'll just go straight to, the quick Q&A session. By the way, I'm going through the comment section. Thank you so much, Blessing. She says, this is awesome. Women should learn to choose themselves first. Choosing yourself first is a strength and not weakness. This helps us, set healthy boundaries. I love that. I love that so much. Okay, I'm going through the comment section. And yes, Madam, Ivy King is saying that the imbalance is really screaming. Decisions are taken, lopsided in favor of the dominant gender. Really unfortunate where we still find ourselves, in 2025. Okay, I'm just going to go straight into the Q&A sessions. I already have some questions that I want to ask some of our all of our speakers. By the way, now let me direct this question to Madam Ini. Just because it's just makes sense that I bring her up backstage. So it's just like I'm going to be taking it from front to back to front anyhow, no particular order, but I'm just going to direct this question to Madam Ini. Already where you are already taking action in your own space. I just want to ask, what actually inspired you, to take these actions, and how do you really stay motivated? Because again, just like some of the things you have shared during your speech, sometimes it is discouraging. You see, it is discouraging, it is disheartening, it is heartbreaking, but how do you manage to, stay motivated and stay grounded, even in the midst of everything that is going on? I think that we should, take that conversation from there, and then we'll continue to progress. Madam Ini, are you there? Okay, I'm just going to wait for her to come up. Okay, great.
Can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am, I can.
Okay. So I think for me, how do I, stay inspired, or how do I inspire myself even in taking action? I think that it comes from a deep understanding of the injustices that have been faced by women throughout history, and whether the women in my corner or whether when I was growing up and things like that. And these things haven't changed. So in practically every facet, you face that injustice, as it were. You something happens, you're on the street, and I'll give you a life example. So I went to I went somewhere and stepped out of my car and was walking by the side of the road, and this Okada guy comes and just uses his hand to hit me or something. And I said to him, Oga, can't you see? And the first thing you will expect will be,
oh, sorry, or something, and keep on going. This guy actually stopped, looked at me, and said, hey, you have come up for road now. You they shake nyash for road. I was like, oh. You know, there's a way someone responds to you and you're like taking it. And I'm like, you must be very still. I'm walking by the road. You are the one riding. You came to the side, walk a sidewalk. You hit me and you cannot say sorry. The next thing he said was like, I have your type for house. Imagine. You know, and I'm like, oh God, why was this somewhere else? Because I'll tell you, you cannot have my type. If you have my type at home, you can't be riding Okada. I just kept quiet, you know, because I was already near where I was going and I left. But I'm just giving you that I always say that if someone, like I feel that with what I have achieved so far, how I carry myself and the things let's even leave me. I'm giving examples of things that we are having to deal with every single day. In the news, we're seeing it, we're hearing it, where someone talks down at women, you know, and simply because a woman says to him, please shut up and let me finish talking. The whole world, how can she tell a man shut up? How can a man be told shut up? As if a man is a god, you know? So I honestly don't understand it, but I think that when I think about this injustices, we've seen key moments in Nigeria where a president said his wife belongs to the other room. We've heard stories. We all have had personal experiences. And if this is not igniting a passion for change for you, if you think that because you are not in politics, it will never reach you, or if you think that, well, I don't disrespect my husband, when my husband says shut up, me too, I shut up, you think it will not get to your sister, your daughters, it's okay. We cannot keep quiet and keep watching, but it will definitely trickle down to every single one of us. We saw a video going around on Facebook where a young boy in a school was slapping another young girl, his classmate, slapping her, beating her, pushing her. And I said, that's it. It trickles down, whether we like it or not. So being able to stay motivated is really surrounding myself with the people that are like-minded, people who understand the issues, women who understand that one woman's battle is every other woman's battle. Because whether we like it or not, we all have daughters, we all have sisters, we all have friends that we care about. We have family members that we care about. I am one of those that, you know, if a friend tells me that the husband make the mistake of beating her, I get boys, we go there, we wait for him, and we teach him what fighting with another man looks like. And we tell him instructionally, beat her one more time and you will have an understanding. So we should not all keep quiet and be looking and say, it's none of my business. So yes, we have also had a situation where we went to deal with the man. The woman came back and told us that we should have minded our business. Well, that's okay. We will not mind our business. If you want us to mind our business, don't come and talk to us. So I think that every single one of us should really pay attention. Please don't walk away. When you see a man beating up a woman, slapping a woman, don't say, what did she self do? First of all, end the fight. End the fight first. Then you can be asking questions around what did she do or what didn't she do. Now she first insults the man. No. We need to change it. The odds are already against women. We need to change that time. The odds are already against women, and until we are able to get to it, when we talk about parity, we're not saying that women want to be men. I don't want to be a man. If I come back, if there's anything like coming back to this life, I can never be a man. I want to be a woman, because we are God's partner in creation. After creating man, he said that I can do better. He went and, put the man to sleep. You go and stay somewhere first. And he took something from the man and he created the woman, and he took time, gave her breast, because that's comfort, gave her a womb to carry children so that she can be a partner in the business of creation with him. You want to play with somebody like that? The woman is in the light of being a comforter and intercessor. And so I can never understand why a man that came out of a woman must have disrespect for women. Women are to be worshipped, because when you want to get through God, trust me, he says through the Holy Spirit. Who is the Holy Spirit? The Holy Spirit, go and look at it very well. The Holy Spirit, let me not talk more than that. Thank you very much. Oh my God. Oh my God, the roof is going to blow off Whoosh, I love it. Thank you so much, Madam Ini. Thank you so much. And you see, I want us to be paying attention to the things that, our speakers, are saying and they are sharing. Look at that example she just gave us. I mean, this is a life experience. And I'm sure that we all experience, some of these things in our day-to-day activities. This thing about it does not concern me because it has not gotten to you yet. It is, we are sitting on a time bomb. I'm telling you the truth. It is not doing us any favor. If you think that because it is not happening to you, it is not affecting you directly, then you are safe. Then you are, exonerated. You are joking. You are joking. Why? Because this thing is already trickling down. We are already seeing the effect of, this. We are already seeing the effect of this injustice, and I love that we are speaking up against this thing. Thank you so much, Madam Ini. That was so powerful. Oh, I at some point I didn't even know how to contain myself on the seat. I want to just I was not shaking, and I love it. Very, very powerful. Thank you. I love that the comment section is, also following the conversation. I love that everyone is, in this conversation. Thank you so much. A woman is partner in the business of creation. I love it. The woman is on fire. I love it. I love it. I'm going through the comment section. The odds are already against the women. Yeah, that's true. And that's why we really need to do more. Thank you so much. I like, those in charge of the media. If, all of our speakers can be brought up stage, it would be good so that, we can have, that easy flow of asking, one question to, one speaker, and then I'm just, switching it like that. My next question is going to go to Madam Ezinne, and I want her to share, personal experience. Madam Ezinne, have you had, any personal experience or, any experience at all where you witnessed inequality, and how did that contribute to, your commitment to creating change? I would like us to, really share, life experiences, that have shaped some of the decisions that our speakers have made. So if you've had any personal experience where you have witnessed inequality, maybe to you, or maybe to any other woman, please share with us. And how did that, change or shape your commitment to creating change? Over to you, Madam E. I hope that Madam Ezinne is there. Okay, while I wait I'm just going to be going through the comment section. I'm not even going to lie. I love the energy of everyone on this call, and I really want to say thank you to you. Okay, I've seen a question. I've noticed it. That's noted. Ubong, thank you. I've noted your question, and yes, I'm going to be bringing it up, to our speakers whenever they're on the call. If Madam Ezinne is not available now, I'm going to go right next to Madam Dayo. I just want to confirm that I have our speakers here. Please, media, can you bring up all of our speakers if possible, so that we can all be on the call together, because I don't want any break in the flow of this discussion. Yeah. Okay, Madam Ezinne is there, but she needs to be brought up stage. Okay, please, Mr. Wale. Mr. Wale is the one in charge of the media. If you are here, please, he's here. You'll be able to bring up our speakers, so that everyone can be on the call at the same time. But while we're waiting for that to be done, most importantly, as we're doing this conversation, I want us to also be thinking, in our own corner, how we are contributing to this change. How are you going to be playing your part? We are hearing these things today. We are hearing, the examples, the stories. We're even hearing the figures, okay? Data supporting, some of these things. Beyond this conversation, because I am more of, a very result-oriented person, I'm looking at how we can begin to say, after this event today, this is what I'm going to be doing. After this event today, I'm not going to be the one to be saying, oh, something happened to the other woman, and then the first thing I want to say, what did she also do? And why did she also do that? Oh, why did she wear that dress? Oh, why is she dressed in that manner? We should not leave the most important thing and then begin to pursue the less important things, especially when the matters of women is on the table. You know what I'm saying? So as much as possible, I want us to also be thinking about how I can be a change, how I can contribute to this change. What am I doing? What role am I playing? Some of you on this call as women, we chant women supporting women all the time. But are you really supporting the other woman by your side? Okay, Madam Ezinne is here. Madam, thank you so much, Mama. Thank you so much. So the question I asked is, can you share, personal experience where you witnessed inequality and how that shaped your commitment, to creating change?
Thank you very much. When I was listening to Ini's opening speech, I was like, that's exactly why I asked the question, what does gender equality mean for you? Because we have to define this thing at the personal level, so that if you have the understanding, then you can begin to chase the bigger issue. Now, to your question, I have encountered inequality in different ways. I'll tell you quickly. The very first one I'm going to talk about is inequality as per myself. When I first birthed in Lagos, I went for a job interview at an advertising agency. You know the way they say add men, they never say add women. Okay, so I went for a job and I was interviewed and I was found worthy to have the job, and I was signed on. And I held my interviews with the MD, who incidentally is a man. And we agreed salaries and everything, and he was happy and I was happy. And I resumed at work. And then when it was time to pay me, my salaries were slashed. It wasn't what was agreed. And I said, why? I put in my bid, I did the interviews, I passed the interviews. So what happened? And they were just there going over it and over it. You know what I did? I walked. 28 days after, I took my things and I left the office and I walked. And then less than 15 days later, I picked up another job in another ad agency. They had to bring that salary, that one that I agreed, they had to write it, send it by courier to my new office to bring it to me, because I left the one day they slashed for them. I said, you know what? I give it to you guys. It's not that deep, So me, I know my what is either you pay my what or you stick it. All right. So that was my first fight for myself, saying, you know what? I'm a woman, yes, but I am an ad man. I came in here, I did my job, I did the late nights, I did the hangouts, I did the meetings, I delivered. So you're going to pay me that thing I said, we agreed that you're going to pay me. So, and when they didn't, there wasn't any point. I don't rant by nature, I just act. And so I acted, I moved. Fast forward, many years later, I was now on an interview panel to interview some people for a job role for an ad agency. And there in my front, the panel was made up of 4 men and 2 women, I and another person. It was very obvious that this other woman was clearly by miles the better person. But the man came and said, she will not be able to do arm boys. She can't do the rounds. We need to close deals. We need to do clubbing. We need to hang out. She's a woman. She can't do this. She can't do that. And so therefore, they were suggesting that we agree to pass up on her for a man who we didn't find worthy of the job. And I said, not on my shift. It doesn't make sense at all. Because why? Your choice, your way, your route might be arm boys. Your route might be the clubs. Your route might be the hangouts. But she's a woman. And she may not even need to go to any club to see anybody. She may not need to hang out. She might have her own ways of closing the deals. What you want is for her to close the deals. You give her the targets and she meets the target. There is something called feminine wiles. It doesn't have to be that, I must go and drink beer somewhere. It could be that I could say to you, can I buy you breakfast somewhere? Can I buy you lunch somewhere? And so instead of getting you to come in the night, I can get you to have those meetings in the afternoon. Anyway, long story short, we won. The lady was onboarded, and she turned out to be a very good hire for that agency. So from that day, I said to myself, I am going to keep advocating for equality for a woman who is qualified. For me, not just any woman, but for a woman who is qualified. If you're qualified for something, then I will run with you and make sure you get it. And that now, this was cycle like 2012, when we were now all talking, and somebody was like going on and saying, no, I'm doing a women conference and I'm looking for speakers. I cannot find speakers. I just sat down and said, you're looking at one, but because you know her very well, you do not think she's a speaker. And the person said, oh, really? Okay, come on. And then we got there. When we got there, they allowed all the big men to talk, 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 talk. And you know, when you, in fact, what Ini said is true. It's even we women who do what? Who enable patriarchy. Because I remember this very, very, very well. Because the MC then now said, oh, there's somebody who is going to speak, but she has to speak after lunch. You know, if you are conversant with conferences, you find that the morning session is always the one that is really like serious. Once people have had lunch and everything, everybody's just thinking about going home. So they pushed me, and pushed me to after lunch. I said, okay, after lunch, I'm going to make it work for myself. And then after lunch, I got up and she said, you've got 20 minutes. And I started. And when I started, everybody was sitting down. And then the next thing, everybody was standing up. And then the next thing, everybody was rushing to the stage. And the next thing, everybody was grabbing my hand. And then the next thing, the question was, who are you? Where have you been? And then the convener of this event was at the back crying because, I mean, it was like, I didn't want to give this woman a chance. But look at this woman has stolen the show. And then from there, guess what happened? This woman was told to go and open the show, to go and open the conference in Houston. From not being made a headline speaker to, at the time they were closing the conference, madam, you're going to headline it in Houston. So what am I saying? I just made up my mind at that point that I have a voice. And this voice of mine is going to advocate for women, to tell women to look inwards, to find themselves. Because if you don't know yourself, then you will go for any and everything. Find yourself, find your purpose, and walk it like your life depends on it, because it depends on it. If you are well versed in who you are and why you should, nobody will push you around. So that's my reason for advocating, for ensuring that every woman, understands that what her rights are, what you can do, how far you can go, and how limitless you are. Thank you.
Powerful. Thank you so much, Madam Ezinne. Thank you so much. These examples you've shared, are really relatable. We see these things every day. And the fact that, we are seeing a live example right in front of us, drives it really, it drives it home. And I also love the other example that you shared about how you also stood up for another woman. And that's the point of, paying it forward. When you see that a woman deserves a seat or a position, not because she is a woman, but because she deserves it, please let her have it. Give it to her. If you know that she deserves it, she has done the work, she's able to prove herself, she has proven herself, let her do the job. I love it. And there's something that Madam Ezinne said, look inward and find yourself. And you see, work out your own salvation. You know how the Bible says it. Work out your own salvation with, you have to be the one. Don't be the one to be quiet when there's an opportunity to do something and you know that you can do it. You don't have to be, quiet. And some people will say, oh, I'm being humble. Humble, where? Hey, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying don't be humble about, the things that you do. But sometimes you really have to be able to really stand up for yourself and, stamp your foot on the ground to say, I know I deserve this. I have done the work. Just like, what, Madam Ezinne said, I don't rant, I act. Be a woman of action. Somebody put that in the comment section. Be a woman of what? Action. Put it in the comment section for me. Thank you so much, Madam Ezinne. I really, I'm really, really enjoying this conversation. Thank you. My next question, I'm going to go over to Madam D. Madam Dayo, what advice, before I get to the point of, the advice, I think that you should also, explain to us, what does mapping, the paths to equality mean to you? And how do you think that as individuals we can contribute collectively, to this effort? What does it mean to you, and how do you think we can contribute collectively to this effort? Over to you, Ma.
Thank you so much. I felt it is Ezinne's energy and Mrs. Innes' energy. It's powerful to see how passionate they are, about this subject. It's really interesting, and I think a lot more like we're doing here needs to be done with regards to this subject. So basically, when you talk about mapping the road to equality, what's it? Hmm? Hello?
Yes,
That's
Ma,
my
we can hear
internet.
you, Ma.
Oh, sorry, he just went off. So when you talk about mapping the road to equality, in my own opinion, I would say that it is all about us identifying, because we've all said a lot, and it's all about identifying and us addressing and removing, the, should I say, the obstacles, the invisible limitations that are on the path of equality. So, because if we don't have an holistic view of this subject, it becomes difficult to create a path. And that's why, in the research and data that was spoken about, they said it will take us 150 years. So, whatever it is that we can't fully define, it overwhelms us. So, if we truly cannot identify and address all of these limitations, what it does for us is that it creates that overwhelm and not knowing how to really chart the path to addressing these issues and being able to resolve them and close that gap. And if you are talking about what can individuals do about it, and I'll try as much as possible to be as real as possible. Mrs. Enid spoke about the video that was going viral. I saw that video yesterday about that young girl and that was being beaten by that young, in school. I think they're still in secondary school. And
Yeah.
I tried to look around that room, and I saw that I think the girl was the only lady in the midst of them. I didn't see another lady there. And it was surprising that the guys were laughing and they were making fun of her. And what came to my mind immediately was, sometimes we look at these things at the very bigger level, macro level. But something came to my mind. There's a man raising that boy. There's a woman raising that boy. For that boy to be as bold as doing that, he would have learned something from somewhere. Somebody taught him. Maybe in the home, somebody instilled that. Because for you to have that level of boldness,
Audacity.
and yes, audacity to be able to, that this girl is weak. She wasn't even, she was just there. You still go to her, you push her. It just shows how weak the boy. So who should we blame? Who is raising that kind of an individual in the society? You see, for me, everything that we see that is expanded today started from somewhere. And what do? I think we all need to go back to the drawing board. The family is the center of all of what are we teaching our children? And the truth is that whatever we do, you can't give what you don't have. And in recent times, you see a lot of people talking about parenting right now. Parenting. Parents need to know how to parent now, how to take care of their children. Because if you don't have this, you can't instill it. If we are talking about gender equality, or we're talking about equality as a whole, it's not just about women, it's about men also. It's about us raising individuals that truly value each other, by raising individuals that really respect each other. So for me, I believe that we need to go back to the drawing board as men and as women to ask ourselves, what exactly are the values that we are instilling? Because it is these values that we take into politics. It is these values that we take into the boardrooms. It is these values that we take into employment, because that is who we are. It is not because you are working that you developed that kind of attitude towards the other the other gender. It's not. But it's because we have all learned something. We have been taught this is the way to put a woman. This is where a woman needs to be. You have learned it. I've seen in some people's homes, the woman does not sit on the same table with the man. They can't dine together. They can't dine together. And they have children they are raising. What is the image that you're giving to that kind of a child? I'm not disputing that the man is not the head of the family. The man is the head of the family. But there are some pictures, there are some things that we do. That's why I call it the invisible barriers. There are some things that we do, maybe based on ignorance that we don't know. But the picture and the image is creating in the minds of people is what is resulting into all that we are seeing in the society today. So I would say that we all need to go back, because you may not be in politics now to be able to change some policies. But what can you start doing? Because we are saying, what are the little steps we can start taking? Those little, in your own way, in your own family, can you go back and ask yourself, do we really have respect for gender in my family? Do we respect each other? Do I respect, is that level of respect in there? Or how exactly, what is my idea about that equality? In some families, when people are talking, a woman cannot talk. There's nothing you can say about it. And we have religious homes that still do the same thing. They can't talk. I'm not saying that a woman should, boss around and all of that, but freedom of expression. That is to say, let you know that this idea has not been fully embraced. So I would say that we should go back to our families. We should go back to our families and begin to instill the right discipline. That's why we still keep talking about whatever you cannot define overwhelms you. We need to sit down with families and define what is this equality all about. Do we truly know what is it? Let's define it so that we can uphold virtues that can help us instill this in ourselves, in our workplace, in wherever it is that we truly find ourselves. And I also say it is important that we educate ourselves. Whatever it is that we have learned, some of us are adults, we're already formed in our ways. But whatever it is you have learned up to now that does not give respect to another person, you need to sit down and go back and ask. Because even the Bible says, love your neighbor as yourself. So if you are not respecting the other gender, if you are not embracing that equality, that means you do not even have respect for yourself. You are not even aligned with the scriptures. So we need to go back. So these things are man-made. These are things we have created for ourselves, which we need to sit down and look at and really look at the root cause and be able to create that part. And I also say for every woman, because we're addressing it to women, I'll say to women, you also need to have a vision for yourself. You need to have a vision for yourself. What is the picture of you that you see? Create a vision for yourself. And let me explain. When you become powerful, there's what they call the 1% of the 1%. There's a mindset they have. Not because they don't have limitations, but because they chose to be different. You see, when we begin to position ourselves with superior knowledge, and we begin to position ourselves strategically in politics, strategically in the corporate setting, where we are not accepting no, where we are going for the knowledge and we are taking on those positions, then our voices also will be heard better. We need more women. We say something in politics, how many women do you have there? A lot of women would rather play, let me just be here, let me just be there. I'm taking care of my child. I'm doing this. We also need to write about that. Your children shouldn't be an excuse for you not to be the best version of you. Your children shouldn't be an excuse for you not to be the best that you can be. So for me, that's what I would say. I would say, let us, go back to the family. Let's find out what are the values we have about gender, about equality. Let's go back and begin to rewire our minds for this level of thinking. Let's educate ourselves, and let's also begin to take positions, empower ourselves to be able to take those superior positions. If you look at in the last few years, you see women occupying mega positions that men were the only ones occupying. What I say to people is that those women strategically positioned themselves. They didn't start today. They started years back. So I want to ask you that you're listening to me. How are you positioning yourself? What are you doing differently? So you need to become more deliberate. And, this is where I will pause at this point. Thank you.
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you so much, Madam Dio. Thank you, thank you, thank you. You have shared a lot with us, and I really appreciate that touch the part of the family as the center. It's so good to hear you, mention the fact that um, most of those things that we see, especially from even this younger generation, it has been learnt from somewhere. Somebody must have taught them because, again, with children, we understand that children learn a lot, by modeling. Okay, they learn by observation. You don't necessarily have to, say something to a child before the child picks it up. Just by seeing you do it, the child is able to, go over and replicate that thing. So thank you so much, for sharing that. I'm going to direct my next question to Madam Ini, and I want to ask Yuba, in your space, what are some obstacles or challenges that you face when you're trying to promote equality, and how do you overcome them? Because I understand that there might also be some women on this call who are probably playing their part, or playing their role, because yes, we probably feel like, okay, what, a lot of women are not, even they're not, being a part of the change. But there are some women who are saying, what, I want to be a part of this change that I want to see, and they are playing their own role, and probably they are, facing some challenges. I'd like you to address this. What are some of those, obstacles or challenges that you face, when you are trying to promote equality, and how do you overcome them? I'm sure that a lot of us will be able to learn from that also. You're muted, ma. Please kindly unmute.
Yeah. Sorry about that. So I think for me, one of it will be cultural and systemic resistance. That's one of the challenges, major challenges that I have faced. And I'll give you an example. So let me say about 10 years ago, no, 12 years ago, I was the pastor of a zonal parish of one of the big churches, and I had about 11 area pastors reporting to me. The level of disrespect that I got from this man, it got so bad to one point that an assistant was seconded to me from, I think, the another zone. And when he learned that it was a woman that he was going to be working with, he said he cannot work under a woman. That he should be the pastor while I'm assisting. Meanwhile, he was coming to meet me in my own zone. So I'm just giving an example of how bad it is that even those that profess to be believers are enablers and carriers of every single thing that demeans women. And so there's also this cultural thing, as women, many of us do it. I don't do it. I've always been very conscious of it because my father, I was the first daughter, and my father raised me neither as a boy or a girl. He raised me as a human being. I did things that boys did. I don't know if you understand what I mean. So it wasn't a matter of, oh, girls don't do this, you cannot climb tree. As I am now, I climb ladder to change my bulb. I don't wait for anybody. Because that's the way I was raised. I wasn't raised to see anything as a boy thing or a girl thing. So, but many of us are still contributing to those cultural resistance because we have been conditioned. There's something called social conditioning, where we condition our boys to behave in a certain way. Boys don't cook, boys don't set tables, boys don't, all those things. And then we condition our girls, we prepare our girls for marriage from day one. Say, hey, if you marry, is that how you will sit down? If you marry, is that how you will cook for your husband? All those things that don't make sense, and we raise girls with the mindset that their lives have to, no matter how educated and successful they are, if they don't end up in a man's house, then they are useless. So it is sometimes very unconscious, but we do them. So these are some of the challenges that I personally face. Then I talked about, systemic challenges as well, systemic barriers. There's been some of these things have been so institutionalized. So if you see a woman driving Uber, is a marvel thing. Everybody will say, hey, madam driving Uber. If you see a woman driving Okada, it's like it's a big deal, you know. So we've already institutionalized some of these things. Unfortunately, they perpetuate inequality. So we need to be very conscious about it. Another thing is fear of, what I say, fear of conflict. So a lot of women don't like to talk about issues that have to do with women because they know some people begin to feel uncomfortable. I was with an organization for a long time that the women there felt that, you know, we can talk about business, we can talk about women in high positions, but we should not talk about issues around domestic violence. We should not talk about things like that. We should not talk about sexual harassment in the workplaces. And it took me coming into that organization to change that, to say to them, even the working class professional women, the business women, the top level business women that you invite to your event, many of them are are having seen serious domestic violence in their homes. Their husbands beat them like crazy, but they will wear makeup and come out and dress up well. And you say, "Oh, this is the top CEO. She does not have mouth in her house." Some of them are going through a lot of sexual harassment in the workplace, but you don't want to talk about it, but you want to be a platform for women to gather every year. So by coming into that organization, I kind of tried to change a lot of things. And thankfully today, you know, they are putting out statements around certain things. And that's very gladdening because we must change it. No matter how we see it, we must stand up and speak against it. I know in church sometime when I was under a pastor, you will see they will do ministration list. They will give the women Wednesday program where a lot of people don't come to church, but Sunday program, no, it's only the men that will feature because it's the men that have the fire. I see a lot of it is changing in some churches, but I'm just trying to tell you that these are some of the things that have been so entrenched and they are so subtle, they're so insidious that you don't even, sometimes you don't even see it. And sometimes when you see it, even you as a person, you're like, But if we don't begin to point it out, there will continue to be challenges. The last challenge for me that I'll mention will be fatigue. You know, you just get tired because, like you said, how many years we've been talking about this thing? I served as a consultant in the African Union in 2005. That's 20 years ago. I was the lead on the issue of when one of the bills that the Africans all the African heads of state signed in Banjul, called the Solemn Declaration in Africa on Gender Equality, 2005 in Banjul, Gambia. I remember running up and down, trying to make sure all my papers were ready so that the heads of state could sign. 20 years after, we are here, somebody is telling somebody that, how many husbands has she married? She has these children from these different husbands. That's why she cannot be a senator. She does not qualify to be a... I'm just tired. I'm tired. Like, when are we going to be able to think and stand up for the things that are right? We are not second-class human beings. We are not the forgotten gender. We are the apple of God's eyes. Women, I don't know how women don't understand the position and the power that they carry. Perhaps when we begin to teach women about the power and the position and the place that they are to the Almighty, because it is not just in Christianity, even in Islam, what we see is more cultural than what is written in the Quran. In the Quran, the woman is given soft life. She is not supposed to do certain things. You know, her life is supposed to be, in fact, the man is supposed, the Quran puts it that the man is the custodian of the woman. So he's like the woman is supposed to be like something that is taken care of. The Quran even says if you are praying, as much as Muslims don't joke with their prayers, they concentrate. When your mother is calling you and you are praying, it says you stand up and go and respond to your mother and you come back and continue your prayers. So religiously, we are supposed to see the woman as one that is very dear to God's heart. Societally, we are supposed to carry our women as one of the most important things. So that, every year, like I think it was Ezinne or Dayo that said it, every year
March 8th, in fact, for March 1st, you start seeing purple everywhere. Purple everywhere. This has gone beyond this. And I want to ask the Ubong King Foundation, I beg you by the mercies of God. I don't know how many programs you do, but we need to change the dynamics around this. We need to have so I know somebody will say, oh, they're always empowering women and leaving the boy child. The boys will be fine because societally they are already being prepared. They are made to believe that leadership is for men. It's a psyche thing that we entrench it in them unconsciously. But the women are trained to be subservient and to be submissive. And unfortunately, that has its own disadvantages. Someone said, but the Bible said be submissive to one to another. So don't bring that one. And it said women to be submissive to your own husband. So don't be submissive on the street. You see everybody be submissive, like shaking like a donkey. No. Be submissive one to another, which means mutual respect. We as women need to begin to teach our children, teach our brothers. Stand up to your brother when he talks to his wife badly. Don't say she said that girl said she don't get respect. No, don't do that. Speak up for her, because my sister, it will reach you. You know they say it will reach you. So I think that with this, these are some of the barriers, these are some of the challenges I have faced. And honestly, in my own work, anybody that knows me know that I'm a woman's woman anytime, any day. Because for me, our battles are so much. We're dealing with so many issues on different fronts. And so the ability to have women that are your wrappers, what I call your wrappers, women that can lose their outer wrapper and cover you at any point in time. And I'm grateful for the women I have in my corner. And I think that everybody should because when you have this kind of women around you, you also are able to face some of these challenges. You can see the number of women that are standing up and speaking up. You know, at first when Natasha's issue started, a lot of people were like, she'll be all right. All these politicians, did she? No. But after everybody see that, you see this disrespect, it's going to get round, because what is going to happen is that these men are going to make sure that no woman wins and comes to the Senate. So it becomes a boys' affair. And then we have no say at the highest level of governance. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ma. Thank you so much, Ma. You are leaving us with a lot of food for thought. And beyond food for thought, you're also leaving us with a lot of things to, ponder on and to see how we can play our part. And, in this matter, stand up for the other woman, be a rapper, be the woman who is talking for the other person. Don't be the person who is, the first to throw the stone when they say, oh, which of you does not have, sin, or don't be the first to cast the stone on the other woman, especially when you even know that, the woman is, on the right path. Don't be the first person to look for an excuse every opportunity to put the other woman down, because guess what? It may not be you today, but it go reach you. And just like Mama said, it go reach you. I don't know this other. They say, if it be you, it is going to be, you don't know. Never say never, Thank you so much, Madam Ine. I really appreciate, your thoughts and the thought that you have shared on this. I'll let you catch your breath while I, direct my other question to Madam Ezinne. And I want us to talk about partnerships and collaborations, that can help us to, achieve equality, and and how we can build relationships. Most of the speakers, but all of the speakers, have been talking about the power of relationships, how you need to have people in your corner. And Madam Ine also just emphasized it now, that you cannot do this life alone, especially with everything happening. You need to have people who are your own strong support system. You need to have that, those, and you also have to be that to the other woman also. So it's not a one-sided thing. So, Madam Ezinne, please, are you able to help us, talk about how, partnerships or collaboration that have helped you, to achieve, equality, and also how, we can, build similar relationships. Madam Ezinne, please. If we can bring her on. Okay. Yeah.
Okay. Oh my goodness, Ini is hot, 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 hot. It's always a pleasure to listen to her because I take a lot of notes, you know. So well done, sis. Um, you see, I always tell people that God doesn't come down. In all my lifetime, I never heard anybody say God came down. But life can only be lived successfully by partnerships, you know, on several levels, different levels. We all have to do what? Form partnerships, whether they're corporate partnerships or personal partnerships, symbiotic partnerships, and mutually beneficial partnership. But it's partnership that drives everything that we do and whether we're going to be successful or not. Because the truth is that majority of the time, you will not be in the rooms where your name is going to be mentioned. You will not be in the rooms where someone is advocating for you. And if you haven't formed the right kind of partnerships and alliances, then nobody is going to even bring up your matter on the table. So I always say to women, the first thing is for you to know who you are. Write your own vision and mission statement for yourself. Who are you? What do you want? Why do you want it? What are you willing to give to get it? You know, and then who do you need to get it? There is this thing I was taught. I think is called the 6 degree something that says, is it 3 or 6? That says that everybody you need in your life should be like 6 degrees away from you or something like that. Yeah. So therefore, if you know who you are, if you know what you're going for, if you know what it is you need, then you put down a strategy for yourself on how to get there. So therefore, you say to yourself, I need Abimbola in on my corner. I need her playing in my team. And so you deliberately go after her. You appear where she is, you appear at her speaking engagements, you take notes, you write a message right after this conversation and send it on her DM and say, oh, that was brilliant, ma'am. I enjoyed it. And you make sure you give her some of the nuggets that you took from what she's saying. She will notice you. You say, oh, I need an Unyime-Ivy King because I want her to ABC, or I like ABC, or I want to learn ABC from her. The thing with us women is that we chicken away from making those connections that we know we need. We say, oh, they are up there and I am down here. Then you're not, it hasn't become a need. It's not burning on the inside of you. You're not pregnant yet. You know, because I say, look, your destiny is like pregnancy. Eh? You're pregnant with something. And then when it's time to deliver, when the pregnancy pangs come, if you if you haven't made the right connections, then you're going to be there and having the pregnancy pain. And you may not be able to birth. You might even end up having a stillbirth. And it will all be a whole 9 yards. 9 months wasted. I tell you, growing up, I had a friend. And he was very deliberate, very intentional. He wrote down the names of the kind of people he wanted to be friends with. Governor, so, senator, so, House of Reps, so. You know, then, because I was younger, I used to look at him and say, this guy is a mercenary. He doesn't even want to just, talk to normal people that come around his way. No, but this guy makes sure he will be where they are. If they're flying first class, he's flying first class. If they are going to be in Sheraton, because Sheraton was what was popping in my time, he's going to be in Sheraton. Do you understand? And so eventually, when I, for instance, decided to go into business, Sheraton was my hub. I would just walk into Sheraton and I'll sit down and I'll order a drink and I have my pen and my notebook and I'm looking like I'm very, very busy, but my ears are just very, very sharp like funnel and I'm hearing everybody's conversation. And that's how I know who is building what, who wants to furnish what, who wants to do what. And that's how I got all my corporate clients. And so I'll move from Sheraton, I'll go to Ecole Meridian. Yes, women didn't used to go, but I used to go because I was on a mission. Otherwise, how was I going to build my business? You know, this is when people say, oh, Ezinne, you know so many people. And I'm like, so you think I knew them by sitting in my house?
From my
The thing
house.
about life the thing about life is that, for instance, if you wake up and you go to Sheraton today at the same time, let's say you go Friday every day 4 p.m. And then somebody encounters you there 1, 2, 3, 4 times. You know, the 5th time the person is going to say hello because the person now believes that we are in the same.
Yeah, they notice.
I know you. Yeah, I've seen you 1 too many times. Yeah. So hello, and then you cannot say, oh hi, and then you do that introduction, and then okay, for someone like me, I look like some famous persons. So people always ask me, are you so and so? And that's always the opener. And I'll say, oh no, but I do know them, but this is me. And then you introduce yourself. As a woman, you must have your elevator pitch for every single time so that you can make that pitch at once. I'll give you very quickly, so I don't take all of the time. I'll give you very, very quickly 4 things that I always advise women to do to enable them to build relationships and build partnerships that will help them, that will become the rappers that they need going forward. Yes. So number 1 is be clear on your mission. You need to be clear what you are building, where you're going, and why you're going there. You need to be clear who you need, and then you go cultivate them. At least at every point in time, make sure that you have 3 persons who can do the same things for you. So that if you ask A and they say no, you ask B, and no, and you ask C, then you go again and ask all of. And I am an advocate of keep asking until you get what you want. 2, leverage your network. See, the sum total of who you are, whether you're going to succeed or fail, is the quality of network you have. There is a popular song, I heard it somewhere, I don't know where. Well, I don't know whether it's popular, but it's popular in my head. 2 poor people cannot help themselves. 2 poor ladies cannot help themselves. So it's either you are doing what? Building yourself a network. And when I mean poor, I don't even just mean only financially, even poor in ideas, even poor in execution. I mean, I can't imagine sitting down with Unyime-Ivy King and we don't have what we're talking about. We're not going to be talking about, did you see that hairstyle? No, come on. That's not what we're going to be talking about.
That's basic.
Do you understand? We're going to be saying, so what's the project you're working on? So what are you doing next? Or how is it coming? And stuff like that. Do you understand? Or I'm talking to Ini, and we're talking about, Ini, did you see that woman? No, come on. She'll just tell me, Ezinne, please, we're going to your house. You don't have anything. So you must have to make sure that you have a network, because your network is your net worth. Whatever your network is. See, one day I picked up my phone. I picked up this cell phone that we all use. And I said, who on this my phone can I ask for 5 million naira that will give me without blinking? And I really didn't find many. And so I started doing what? I started benching many people. You see, this year alone, I haven't said Happy New Year to so many people. I'm sure they're wondering. Are they no longer my friends? But the fact is that, you see, this first quarter, I needed to get some things done. And I didn't want that distraction from telling me stories that will not get me to where I want to get to. Do you understand? So you have to be that ruthless, because it's your life. It's one life and it's one chance. If you get it wrong, you get it wrong. You can always prune your network from time to time, but make sure that you're adding on quality people into your network.
Yeah.
3rd one, you must offer mutual value. You cannot build a network that works if you don't bring anything to that network.
That's right.
So to eliminate anybody asking you, what are you bringing to the table? Please make sure that you're full. Make sure that your CV is speaking. You heard her talking about Obi's CV. Make sure that it is speaking. Make sure that what you have done very well. Make sure that when you sit, you are going to add quality, not when they ask you, so what do you really want to do? I really don't know. I was hoping that when I come here, you let me know. You've lost that chance, because you might not get it again. And finally, be consistent. Don't be somebody who will wake up today and not show up. Show up every day of your life for the things that you believe in. Keep showing up, and people will keep noticing. See, they may, depending on the platform where you're showing up on, they may not say anything. They may not even comment. They may not even do anything like they know you. But one day, something might just come up before them, and they say, oh, no, there's this person. There's this lady. No. Yeah, I encountered her at Ubong King's virtual something. Mary Ayuba. Yes, that's her name. And they will Google you, find you, and then that opportunity comes your way. And you will not know it's because you have consistently sown that seed and shown up for yourself. I believe that if you do these 4 things, you will create very massive connections that will yield you very great partnerships that will not only cover you in good times, but also elevate you in very bad times.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Madam E. Thank you. Oh, this is really exhaustive. Thank you so much. I really appreciate all of those points that you have given. I will not go over them again because we have to run because of time. And I really just want to say a big thank you to all of our speakers. They have stayed with us, from the very beginning, almost like even 1 hour even before the session. Thank you so much. If you can bring up all the speakers now, just one final question, and then we'll call this a day. And I really want to also say thank you to all of our our audience, everybody. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for following. Thank you, thank you, thank you. There was a question that came up during the session. So I don't know if any of the speakers can just help us address this. If let's bring all of the speakers so that we can just go over this, and then while we're addressing that, we'll just drop our final thoughts, and then you'd see how we can end this. So this question says, how do we balance standing our grounds while expressing our full feminine self without coming off as the person put a question mark, I'm not sure, but how can we balance standing up for standing our grounds while expressing our full feminine self? So I don't know if any of our speakers can address that. Well, maybe while we are waiting for all the speakers to come up, Madam Ezinne, if you can help us do justice to that, while other speakers are brought on the show.
Could you please say that question again? How do we stand our grounds?
So how do we balance up standing our grounds while expressing our full feminine self without
So for me, thank you for the question. It's very, very insightful. So for me, I would say set your boundaries very early. What happens with us women is that we don't set boundaries. Let me take this back into like the family setting. So we fall in love and we're giddy in love. And so something happens, we don't say, oh, I don't like this. You keep quiet. And then you just keep quiet. You keep taking it. Then one day, because you're angry with the man, you now just pour it on him. That's how you know. That's where the problem starts. From day one, please just set your boundaries and say, this is a boundary. You can play within this, this square, but don't try to push it, because I'm not going to be happy if you do. If people know that you have boundaries that you've set, then, and you yourself, you're consistent with those boundaries that you've set for yourself, then they will respect you. And then, so you don't even need to do much of standing your ground. But for instance, somebody now decides to one day push you a bit, all you have to do is to say, is a deal breaker for me, is a no. Communicate, communicate, communicate. You see, the problem with women is this. We know how to talk. We talk a lot. Yes? But much of what we talk sometimes doesn't make a lot of sense to the next person. It makes sense to us because we're emotionally talking. But we need to learn how to rationally talk. Because the person you're talking to, which more often than not is a man, is rational. He's not looking at you emotionally. You are looking at him emotionally. He's looking at you rationally. So you're coming at him with emotions. He's waiting for you to come rationally. So you need to know how to communicate and communicate effectively. So that way you don't have to do gra-gra. You see, I feel like we're doing this equality thing wrong, quote and unquote. You don't fight patriarchy with your gloves on. No, they will just beat you back again, and then that's what is going on. So we need to look at our strategy again and see how we can go about it another way so that we can bend them. Because honestly, sometimes I did ask a question on my Facebook page. I said, does it mean that all the political players in this country don't have mothers, don't have wives, don't have daughters? How do we make them do the things we want them to do? Is it not time we begin to speak to them that, the respect they accord us should also be accorded to the next woman out there who is not mother, who is not wife, who is not daughter? So you see that at the end of the day, I personally feel that the job to change this thing lies with us women from the inside, from our homes. If we're able to manage and speak and show to our men that what we are looking for is not a takeover. We don't want to do hostage takeover. We want to be given opportunity, equal playing ground. So you play, I play. Yeah. So we're not looking to say, oh, we've suddenly graduated from being neck. We're now head. So we're now like, what's that thing? Two heads joined together, trying to navigate. That's not what we're saying. What we're saying is, listen, I know as much as you do. I can do as much as you can do. I can paddle for two, and stuff like that. And I can do it without showing any strain. So therefore, allow me to come and show. You see, there is the rational one and the emotional one. Both have, pluses, and we can come together and do exponentially very well.
Thank
So
you
I
so
think
much.
that yes, if we're going to get this, if we're going to shorten the 130 or 150 years, then women have to really now do what? Be intentional about our definition of gender equality. The truth is, I still believe that we don't even know what it is. You know, we're just going with all the bogus words that are being thrown around. If you're intentional, because the truth is, when we want something from these men, we know how to get it. So how come we can't get them to treat us better?
Thank you so much, ma. Thank you so much, ma. You have said it. You have said it well. You have put everything in the right perspective. So yeah, there's so much to wrap our head on. Madam Ini is here. Madam Ini, final thoughts. What do you want us to take away from here? What do you always want us to remember from this session today?
Okay, so thank you so much. I mean, I've learned quite a lot as well. I mean, this is a thing with having women who are experienced, who understand the issue. Ezinne said something that was very profound, and that is being able to speak rationally as women. And sometimes they think that we are emotional. Now, one thing I want you to understand is that 9 out of 10 times, no matter how rational, emotionally stable you are, the first sign most men see is that you are a woman. So I need us to constantly remember that it is just something that is in their mind. So irrespective of how intelligent, irrespective of how put together your conversation is, irrespective of how you're standing on propriety, you are first seen as a woman. So I normally would say that there was something that I learned when I went through the fattening room. So I come from a place where the women my age, we had this fattening room process that is not what was televised and shown, where the girls just eat and eat. We were taught the art of femininity and the power of femininity. Now, I am one of those women by reason of also understanding the scriptures and by reason of being taught in the Nkwo, where we call the Nkwo, the fattening room. I understand the power of the femininity of a woman. And that is what Ezinne calls boundaries. But I don't call it boundaries. I call it the internal workings of the mind of an intentional woman. The Yorubas will call it ete obirin, which has a negative connotation to it. But I like to call it, the wisdom, the internal workings of, wisdom of a very intentional woman. And that is knowing how to have your way. Because we were created with it. God doesn't make mistakes. God knows why. He needed us to be able to balance that hard, resistant, so-called rational stance of a man with the emotional balance that is required, but also some level of intentionality. So I would say to everyone that we, beyond anything, need to rework how our relationship with men.
Yeah.
Many of us, there's nothing wrong in seeing a celebrity and going, okay, that's fine if that's how you work. But you also want to be able to manage it in such a way that you have some self-respect left in you.
Yeah.
Because part of the thing that happens is that women are seen in a particular light. It does not matter the class of women that you are. That's why somebody will look at, a former minister of the Federal Republic, a World Bank former chief executive, and say to her, you are ashamed to womanhood. He just tells you that as long as you are a woman, irrespective of who you are put in a box already. So we need to redefine our relationship with men. We need to redefine how we work with men, whether our colleagues, whether our brothers, whether our sisters. Like I said earlier, these things begin from the home. And so for us as women, we need to begin in our small corners, in every single woman, even man. I always talk to the men in my corner. I say to them, you need to teach your daughters what it means to be a real man.
so that when they encounter those ones that are semi-men, they will know instantly and they draw the line. As women, we need to be able to be the ones to stand up to our husbands. Ezinne said something. These politicians, don't they have wives?
Yeah.
You mean that the wife cannot hear him talking nonsense and call him and say, sweetheart, please, what rubbish did you just display on the TV? I am embarrassed to be your wife. I mean, you are the man's wife. You sleep with him on bed. There should be a way you can talk to him. But obviously, these women don't care. So that's why I'm saying that as women, we need to have those conversations. We need to redefine our relationship with men. We need to redefine how we allow our boys get away with certain things with their sisters. We need to redefine how we allow our brothers get away with certain things with us. We need to redefine how our boys speak to the maid, speak to the auntie, behave. We need to redefine it. And we need to do it urgently because we don't have 135 years. Or else, what we are seeing, what more and more, my eldest daughter got married 2 years ago. And I know the kind of conversations I had because everybody was like, oh, why did she stay so long to get married? And all of that. But I had raised girls that were not going to settle. Because what we find is that we are seeing more and more immature men. In fact, boys who are called men going into marriages. We have spent all the years preparing our daughters, but we do not prepare the men for marriage. We just think that as long as they're able to provide a home, provide a livelihood, to pay for food, pay for house rent, buy a car, then they are men. No, being a man is beyond having a penis. Being a man takes much more responsibility than that. You need to go and find out the responsibility that God gave to man. And so as women, once we are able to redefine that, I think that we'll begin to see some level of changes. When your pastor stands on the pulpit and talk nonsense, go and meet his wife and tell him, sister, when you get home, please tell pastor, we will not accept that from him next time. Don't speak like that on the pulpit. No woman is secondary human being. We should be able to do that. Because sometimes we even make these pastors become God. And then they talk anyhow. They begin to get involved. I remember one pastor, I had to go and put it on his page. I said, pastor, please concentrate. You have no basis to talk about a woman's body, her menstrual period, and what she goes through when she has menstrual period. You have no right. You have never been a woman. You will never be. Of course, the church people came for me. I could block all of them. But I am ready to fight this because I think that in our spaces of influence, we need to begin to change the dynamics. Certain things are just absolutely unacceptable. And until we are able to do that, it's the same way this disrespect is trickling. That's the same way the changes will begin to trickle. With these few points of mine, I hope I've been able to convince you.
You have.
Thank you.
You have, Mama. You have, Madam Fixer. You have. Thank you so much, Ma. Thank you so much. God bless you. Thank you so much for your time also. We're really, really grateful. Apologies. I'm sincere apologies for extending this beyond the scheduled time. Sincere apologies. Thank you so much, ma'am. And I really want to say a big thank you to all of our speakers, to Madam Dio, to Madam Ezinne, to Madam Ini. Thank you. Thank you so much for pouring your heart out to us, this evening. Thank you for sharing real examples, like life examples. And thank you for, driving the point home. Thank you so much. We're so grateful. I'm going to bring up Mr. Alvin now so that I can do the vote of thanks and we can call this a day. It's been an amazing outing. I learned so much. My note is filled, honestly. I've written down a lot of things, and beyond this, the next thing is going to be that we are, taking the action. We are working on these things that we have, learned today. Mr. Alvin, how are you today? You are muted. We cannot hear you, sir. Mr. Alvin is supposed to drop his skincare routine because what is this glow?
Okay. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much for this very insightful session. Mary, it's good to see you. It's been a while. I think this is the first time we're interacting since you became Mrs. Ayuba. Congratulations once again. And I want to use this opportunity to thank everyone on this call. I want to thank the amazing women on this call. from Mrs. Abimbola, Mrs. Ezinne, Kufre, Ekanem, and my very own Dayo Adeniyi. I celebrate you this evening. Thank you for this beautiful session that we've had. And definitely, I'm going to go back to listen to it all over again because I'm sure I'm going to hear what I did not hear when it was live. So I want to say thank you. And I want to appreciate you for bringing your A game, your deep insights to the event. I want to say huge God bless you. And I'm sure a lot of people are going to be touched. We are going to leave the stream on YouTube and it will compound, and a lot more people are going to watch it. We'll promote it. It's been quite insightful. So I want to say a big thank you. And of course, to our amiable host, the Lion King, the Lion Queen, Ambassador Mrs. Unyime-Ivy King. Thank you very much, big sister, for putting this together. It's been such a blessing, even for a man. I really appreciate you. Thank you very much, and God bless you. So to the team at the back end, the engineering crew, Wale and his team that made this happen, that made the live stream happen, I want to say thank you for always answering us when we call you. And also for the members of the Ubong King Foundation volunteer team who rallied around to do the publicity at very short notice. I want to say thank you and a huge God bless you. And for the members of our audience who spared your data in a time when the telcos have raised the bar when it comes to data volume, but you still sacrificed to be part of this live stream, I want to say thank you and thank you and thank you. If you have any questions, you can reach out to us at info@ubongking.com and we'll respond to you. And also at the same time, stay tuned, follow our platforms, Instagram, Facebook, and the rest of the platforms that we use, so you can know when we have upcoming events. Very soon, we'll be having another event that we'll put out, and the publicity will be up and running in a moment. So stay tuned, join us, follow our pages, share the link to this event that has happened this evening, so more people can hear and see what happened this evening. It's been revolutionary. And I want to say, I celebrate the women on International Women's Day. Yeah, we came towards the end of the month, but I think we saved the best for the last. So from me to you, and on behalf of myself and the Ubong King Foundation, this is me saying good night and have a beautiful weekend. And in advance, I say Baraka Bisala.